All right. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, or good morning. Hopefully, you guys are hearing me. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Let me just put the sounds on a little bit here. Good afternoon. Hopefully, it's not sounding too echoed. Uh, Hopefully, you guys are all right. Yes. Oh, give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. That was just like my other music that was there, just running in the background as well. But all right. So let me just put this down a little bit here for you guys. All right. Sorry about that. I know the music's been a little bit louder. Okay. So how you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing really, really well. So just give me a quick second. I just wanted to make sure all the sounds are pretty all right, and we don't have any issues here. So yeah, let me just make sure. If you guys are hearing me, please let me know if you guys are hearing me. Here with my very good friend from Europe, actually from England. Kris Mooney, Scotland. Call it Scotland. Scotland and England. I mean, it's so weird, right? How they're both in the same place, but then it's like, I guess it's like Canada and America. So yeah, Scotland. Here we go. All right. So hopefully, if you guys are hearing me, please let me know if you guys are hearing me. How do you guys hear me on the stream here? We have quite a few things that we're gonna talk about. So yeah, so just give me a second. Let me just double check something here. Let me just make sure everything's working out pretty well. Hopefully, like I said, the sound is not echoing too much. Please let me know if it's not echoing too much. So yeah, just give me a quick second here. Okay, so it doesn't seem too bad, all right? It doesn't seem too bad. So like I said, I'm here with Kris Mooney. He's a very good friend of mine. He's very much into aviation and flight sim and stuff. So we are gonna have, I think, a very good time. Um, together discussing a lot of things, right? So I have pretty much a whole catalog, and I do have the screen that you guys are gonna see things on screen. So I do have the graphic screen, where we're gonna go and Google some stuff, so we can have a little bit of talk, not just talk, but we can have some information and show you guys some information, right? So like I say, shout out to Kris Mooney and his channel. He has Twitch channel as well as YouTube channel. So if you guys, you know, he likes different things, like simmers, we like a little bit of game and other things as well. So, we try not to just be all flight sim, but in this podcast today, we're gonna be talking about airliners, right? Default airliners versus Payware airliners, the mods, right? So we're gonna talk about both, explain, as well as Microsoft, right? 2020 or 2024, right? So I am your presenter, obviously, CaribFly. And we're gonna dive into it today. And like I said, we have the airliners. So Kris, how do you feel first and foremost? How do you feel? Hmm. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, whether it stacks up in terms of the amount it costs. Yeah, so I think obviously that's gonna be a talking point. Everyone's gonna talk about whether I mean some of the freeware which we're gonna talk about. I think they're pretty fine. In my opinion, they're pretty good. So I don't think in my honest opinion. I mean, obviously I guess you mix between the both. Some people have told me why you don't have this aircraft or whatever, and I'm like, okay, well, you look at certain things and you'll see why. Sometimes you're not gonna fly all of them. Like you're gonna have, let's say, if you have 20 planes, are you gonna fly 20 planes for like? You're probably gonna fly five of them probably twice for the year or something like that. So it's like, what's the point, right? But we'll dive into it. We'll dive into it. Yeah. So first and foremost, on we're gonna go. We're gonna have a nice little flow to this. All right. And like I said, we're gonna talk, for example, like the first thing, the narrow body airliners, right? The single aisle. And in terms of that, we're talking about. Are we gonna go straight into heat of it? We're gonna talk about fly by wire. What do you think? Fly by wire, Phoenix. These are the A320, right? So let me get your votes. Let me get your views on that. All right. So talk to me. Wait, just now. They're saying that we can barely hear you. Yeah, I was just turning up. No, it's not your sound. I think it's on my side. I probably have it pretty low. So let me just turn it up because I just was asking the question whether they're hearing. So let me just put this up a little bit here. Let me just go back. Wait, it is actually. Let me just put this mic sounds up a little bit more. I might have to even put the gains up a little bit. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put the sounds up a little bit more. So just give me a second. Actually, yeah. So let me just add gain to this. All right, here we go. Add some gains. So hopefully this. Okay, so let me add gains to the other one as well. Filters. Oh, I did add gain already. Filter. Add gain. All right, put this up to about 3. Hopefully people are hearing now. And we go on to the other screen, your screen as well, and then also add that. Can you imagine how to do all of that? Actually, I do have it. Oh, so it's already up there, so it's fine. Right, actually, it's up there. All right, so let me see if people hearing me a lot or hearing you a lot better. Let me see. Let me just check out the sounds now. All right, you say something now. Say something. Let me see if they're hearing you. It's weird because like they're hearing my sounds. uh, but for some reason, because I can hear your sounds pretty loudly. So yeah, it's kind of weird. So so let me see. I just hope I didn't actually put the sounds because I can hear you pretty loudly. Yeah. So it could be that in just let me go into volume mixer here for a second. Yeah. All right. And let me just make sure this is working pretty fine. Input, okay, output. All right, here we go. Discord is actually full 100, so that's pretty fine. Jeez, it could be. Let me see, because I did just add Discord, so probably. Oh, let me see. Give me a second. Let me see. Give me a second. Give me a second. Then I'll just add your screen, guest, and let me get that. Where is it? Oh, guest. There we go. Yeah. So hopefully this works. If it doesn't, then I guess yeah. All right, so let's get back to the music and everything, man, because we need to get back into things here. Here we go. We need to get back into things here. All right, so let's get moving. All right, so hopefully you guys hearing both he and I pretty well here. Hopefully. I swap it out of default. So instead of it, I think what happened is because I added a cable last night, another output cable. But that's for when I use in VATSIM. When I'm on VATSIM, I just don't like the noise when it makes the. So then I end up putting this thing so like a cable thing. It's a whole EP and everything, so like to cancel out some of the sounds and stuff. So I had to actually include an entire another like dummy sound in the stuff. But anyways, let me see. We have 2 votes. Is that 3 votes? 3 votes saying rather full Payware study level aircraft. So we already have 3 votes saying they rather that. Well, so that's yeah. All right. Anyways, let's just continue getting into it because I can hear you pretty fine. So I don't know why it's not. Yeah, it's like you probably might just have to. I don't know. Say something again. Let me just hear on my other. Could be because like you're on Discord, so probably like the sounds from Discord. It's not like okay if we were like 2 separate like taking it from Discord, so the sounds on Discord. But anyways, let's just get into things. Let's get into things. We spoke about the fly by wire, right? So I'm gonna go on the graphics screen. All right. I'm gonna go on the graphics screen and I'm gonna start research. Okay, fly by wire. So first thing first, let's go on fly by wire. All right. If it's 20. That's the first thing. All right, so here we are on the actual screen to do the fly-by-wire, on the graphics screen to do the fly-by-wire. And we know about the fly-by-wire that, I would say pretty good project. Let's go into the project side of it. And we know there's the A320, and the A380s. But we'll get into that. And let's just go more or less into the documentation side of things, and we can just get to see a few things that they have going on in terms of the aircraft itself. Not installation really, but more like the overview side of it. All right. Let me see. Is there a features guide? All right, here we go. All right, so you can see like obviously for fly-by-wire, can you imagine being a Payware? Oh, sorry, a Freeware. Sorry, Freeware. They have custom FMS, autopilot, very custom. Autopilots and stuff. Free text. Can you imagine with the CPDLC, Hoppy ACAS, MCDU keyboard, which you can actually get the output. You can actually have like uh like a phone or iPad or something like that, where you'll be able to um still see what's in terms of like the FMS, that kind of thing. So yeah, like all of these features. Tell me about it. What do you think? Yeah. All right. But at least it has all of that, like it has all of the CPDLCs. It have things you could be able to text, and because obviously they say there's so many like people talking on the frequencies that it helps when there's like a controller. So so I think obviously all of that, um SimBrief integration. I guess right now SimBrief integration is sort of like a standard thing now. Of course. So you would argue that that is generally a normal now. But like weights, for example, weights and balance and these kind of things, obviously you might not want to go to the engineers and get that, but you have like basically an automated system, because the engineers bring the weights and everything for you to put in the zero for your weight and all that kind of stuff. So at least knowing that the plane can act as an automated, um it actually do the weight things for you automatically, like, so because I mean obviously when the passengers or on the manifest, you know um you don't have to go and try and configure it, the plane. They obviously the engineers and all of them do that, or the load sheet masters and all of them do that. And then yeah, so basically it has, can you imagine, it has all of that. Fly by wire have the ability to literally change the CFG of the aircraft and all that, and take into consideration in terms of takeoff and all that kind of thing. So that's pretty cool, right? Oh, 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 oh. I hate when those sounds do that stuff. He did it again. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, it always does it, but that's fine. All right. So, I mean, look at that. Like, that's just a few. I mean, we talk about, a few features, but actually, that's quite a lot of features, right? Imagine being like, um, yeah, and that's a freeware aircraft, right? Freeware. That's on the freeware side, right? And if we go on back to the, let me go back to the graphics, right? And then we go on to, um, now we're going on to the Payware one. So let's go on to Phoenix, all right? Let's go on to Phoenix now. The famous Phoenix. And can you, first and foremost, they have an entire bundle for £89. Now, if I was smart enough, I'll have gone and get that. But the thing is, I like nowadays, obviously, you need to get 2020 and then obviously to be able to get Phoenix on board, right? For £89 or the base one for $49.50. So you get $50 out of $90, out of 90 quid, right? And obviously, if you want the A319 and the 21 expansion, you pay another like $40 here. But still, the base pack is $50, and then you get the extra, just the basic 2020 A320 and 21 with for extra £40 again, and then you get the expansion for £40, which I mean the expansion is pretty good. So, but let's get into it, right? I mean, look at this. This is Payware. Again, you can see the textures look pretty nice. Anyway, like out of the block. So you could see on the picture there over on the screen here, you could see obviously terrain works, and the terrain looks pretty well, especially knowing it's 2020. They have a full RNAV, RNP, AR, right? And the AR is, if I can remember, is only certified pilots can do the AR, right? The AR flights, those AR routes, right? So, for example, in other words, like they'll have a leg. For example, let's say if you're going into Peru, only certain pilots can actually fly that AR, right? Yeah. So I think, so I think that's pretty nice. Knowing, I actually just learned about that like last month and stuff. Like I didn't actually know about this specific thing here, but they have AR capability, so that's pretty nice. And the fact that they have the whole rank 424, which is the ICAO standards, right? That's the ICAO standards 424, right? Legs, so you can have the RFX and all these kind of things, so you can get this whole curve path, right? Which is, like I said, the rank 424, which is very nice. So like you can literally curve around the mountains perfectly, on profile and stuff like that, instead of like a lot of data points, which is like how Boeing more or less operates. But that's where you will find like more A320s go to like Peru and stuff, obviously in these type of routes, than the Airbuses, than the Boeings, right? So that's already a feature. And imagine like in a Payware, so you would want to pay for like a very much RNP purchase that has that capability of doing these very good procedures, right? Yeah. 90 quid. Yeah, 90 quid. Yeah. 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 The circuit breakers, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly, yeah. No, continue. You can talk. Continue. You can speak. Yeah. You continue speaking. Oh, this loud crack noise again. But yeah, um, I think that's the thing, right? Not many, and XP72 said that, is it 72 or 74? Right, 72. Right? Said last night in at the Flight Sim Expo, he was saying how it's like it's heavily it's heavy on the Airbus, so it's like the competition is like it's all there in terms of Airbus. Whereas in the Boeing market, so he wants to see more Boeing. So I think he did show a video last night. I think today actually, probably like last hour ago. Actually, I can probably go on YouTube and then find that. So, I think he did show it on screen. Actually, I'm gonna go on screen and then put it YouTube. XP72. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would say, because like, I mean, to be honest, like they need to have more options. I don't know, like it shouldn't just be. Oh, here it is. Yes, yeah. Here it is. So he was doing the win CTRL force areas like 2 hours ago. So they're showing basically like the ultimate yoke sim yokes. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, I think you guys can see that on screen. Yeah. So it's nice to see that they're trying to get into, and look at that, the B737 throttle, because like it's all Airbus, like everything is all Airbus, the whole wing and all that. But like I mean, but nowadays, do people have the money to pay for all of these type of? I think it's like, I mean, you can see the direction. Everybody wants to have like their home cockpit, just to like have a, you want to be at home and have fun with your wife or something and talk about, you know. So I can understand, like, as you get older or more and more into gaming and stuff, over time you feel like just hanging out and just having a good flight and stuff, and like a good time. So I guess you might want to lean towards the paywares at some point, because you want to have like a good experience and everything. But like you rightfully said, start off with the freeware, um and work your way. But I think the only reason why I actually love fly by wire, actually the only reason now, or I would say two of the reasons: the CPDLC, and I'm able to use my tablet and just put my FMC there, or call it FMGC, or what's the word called for, like I know FMS is more boring, right? FMGS, yeah, for the Airbus, yeah. Mm. But to me, Boeing doesn't Boeing say MCDU as well? Because I know the acronyms is different. So like FMS is like flight management system. That's actually for both of them, because FMS is actually both of them. It's just the management system. But I think the MCDU, is it, and then the FMGS is it, so like it's more specific to the name call for the different companies, so Boeing or Airbus. Um, and then I believe the actual computer itself, I believe, has a name as well. The computer that so it's like it's just the acronyms for the different. Um, so somebody, yeah, so many acronyms, but somebody can correct me on that. So somebody can correct me on that one. Somebody can correct me on that one. But in my opinion, I believe, um, yeah. But I agree with what you're saying. I think like the freeware, in my opinion, you start off there is pretty good. Sometimes you might not even need, I mean, in specific situations, I guess in this case, looking at the Airbus, looking at, sorry, the fly-by-wire, knowing you have fly-by-wire. But the only thing here is the fly-by-wire is only the A320 Neo. It's not a CEO, right? It's not a CEO, it's just the Neo. So for me, I still think that's pretty good. So if you want a whole set, like the 19, the 20 CEOs and stuff, in that case, you will have to get either the mod. I know there is like a mod, a freeware mod, which we're gonna come into next. For example, the mod is called the Horizon, right? So I'm gonna show that up on screen shortly. So give me a second. Let me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, the sound's cracking again. Oh, why is it doing that? I know it just keeps cracking every now and then. Yeah, go on now. Here it goes again. It's like you have to like take your time with the sound things. It's weird. I know. But um yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've had all of them, so like, but I've had to uninstall some because like I guess over time you realize like you're not gonna fly all of them, so it's just like okay. And some of them the experience is not the best. Like you find like you're shooting like a rocket in some, and some of them you quite which we'll get to Tolis because I think Tolis by far the performance in terms of the climb and everything is pretty well. It's solid. So we're gonna get to that at some point, but not now yet. Right. So I was saying that I'm gonna show on screen the headwind stuff first, right? So let me just put up on the graphic screen right now. All right, so here we go. This is the headwind. And we have, like I said, the Latin VFR, the A318 19, A320 CO, the 21 Neo. So, there's this, I would say, it's freeware, but obviously this freeware depends on having the original. I believe you have to have the Latin VFR, so you have to still have the Payware Latin VFR A318 add-on, right? So you still need to have the A320. Obviously, there's the default A320. So it takes the information from that, and obviously Latin VFR tweaks it to their performances, and then obviously Horizon fixes all of that as well in one big one big mod. So it's mod on top of mod. But let's be honest, the mod for the Latin VFR, it looks exactly like the fly-by-wire because obviously it's like using the fly-by-wire data as well, basically. So it's like one big family, right? Like I say, the Latin VFR obviously have their own. What they have is that they have So let me come up here. They have their own. If I remember, their own EFB. They put Latin VFR A319 EFB, something like that. They have their own EFB, right? Can I see a picture of it somewhere? Is there a picture of it? Or do I have to go on YouTube and look for a picture? Oh, here's one. All right. So That's their own EFB, and obviously they have their own little layout. But then, what I think people don't like is like the way the screen looks. Like I'm showing this picture here right now on screen here. Come on. Where is the picture? Where is the picture? Is it taking time to load in? Come on, come on, come on. Give me the pictures. Come on. Come on. All right, you know what? Let me just go back. Let me try to see if I can. I think I can zoom this in, right? I believe I could zoom this in. I think. Oh, yes, 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 I can. Jeez, what did I do here? Now I did something. Now I did something crazy. All right, here we go. So I can zoom it in and come out, and you can see the. I don't know. I mean, it might not be the best looking, but you could see from what I'm seeing here, it's like it just doesn't look the best, right? I guess in terms of like how the layout looks, like I know people don't like how that layout of it looks. I believe that's the Latin VFR one. I mean, it does say Latin VFR. Is that it? Here's another one. Yeah, and then yeah, and then the performances are not the best either. So, anyways, that's the thing because the aircraft goes up, it shoots up massively, and then shoots back down massively, and then all of that kind of stuff. So then people don't always like that. But the horizon makes it look pretty well. You know, let's go to the horizon one now. You know, horizon. Let's put a 320 or something like that. You know, something like or is it? Do I have like a? Do they have a picture here? Or do I have to go in like the actual documentation? No. That's just a fly-by-wire, so they're not gonna. Um, give me a second. And then put cockpit. Cockpit. All right, here we go. Okay. So let me see what pictures do they have. What pictures do they have? Horizon. How can I kind of? You know what? Just give me Horizon A320. MSFS, something like that. And I'm sure I'm gonna get some kind of picture with how, you know, for example, you could see this screen looks a little bit looks a lot better in my opinion. I mean, I could tell the difference between the what they call that, the ND, the navigation display. Yeah, like it looks better. Obviously, the plane is using the fly-by-wire sort of performances and stuff. So it actually, you know, it curves and everything's pretty well. Oh, that's the Phoenix one. But the point is, you have the horizon that looks pretty well, right? That literally modifies the entire Latin VFR, um, and makes it much better. So somebody will argue, well, why go through horizon when you have to get an A3? You have to get an A3, the A320 from horizon, and then from horizon, sorry, from Latin VFR, then the horizon, when you will still have the default A320 in this. So like you'll be like, why you so basically you're getting you have a freeware as in the default plane A320, then you get the Latin VFR, which is Payware, and then you're going back to a freeware, right? You're going back to a freeware. So tell me your thoughts on all that. Just now, why does it seem like the stream? I don't know why it seems like the stream cutting out. Like your sound is cutting out. It's weird. Hmm. 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 Oh. Why is it doing that? I'm trying to figure out why is it doing that. No, it's like the sounds just keeps tweaking. No, go on. But I'll just get this all sorted out. Could be in my sound mixer. Go on, now you can continue. Fair enough. True. Yeah, I mean, but all of that aside, I mean, it's fair to say that it's still how do I put it? You choose, like, you know, you would still buy an aircraft, or you still buy a Payware or something like that, because at the end of the day you still want to have you know, still want to fly it. All right. So in my honest opinion, yeah, so I would say, okay, coming back to what we have here, the Phoenix, I think, is a good product. You get it, definitely you will get it for, you know, the Phoenix. Fly by wire, you will definitely have that, because you don't want to just use the default A320 in the sim. But again, fly-by-wire is not for Xbox and stuff, so you might have to use just the default, obviously, if you're using Xbox. All right, so that's fine. That's fine. So at least you have a mod there, and obviously in it, the mods, they used to have some little mods before, and finally fly-by-wire came out with the best mod ever, and obviously it's updated up to where it's at right now, right? In terms of, I think it's 0.7 something or so, and it's really, really well. You have Latin VFR, sorry, Horizon. In terms of if you don't want to use the Neo, you want to use the CEOs as well, you could actually, well, obviously you just need Latin VFR. So the choice is yours when it comes to, in terms of A320 or 21s or anything like that to do with Microsoft. Now that's on Microsoft side. So let's get to the explain side of things now. So this is where we get to Tolis now. All right. So we know Tolis as the payware. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with Tolis, which I'm going to show up on screen now. Obviously, everybody knows Tolis is by far the best simulator ever. Sorry, it's not simulator. Why am I saying simulator? Not simulator. I mean, everyone, Tolis is by far the best aircraft in the market, in my opinion. All right, so let me just put it up on the graphics here. Right, so here we are on Tolis. So let me just take out the back. Let me just take out the display capture here. All right, so this is, they have the A320 Neo. They also have the A319. All right, so let's go to like the A320. They even have CEOs and all that, right? So it's like a big bundle. And we know common features, for example, they have literally everything: CPDLC, ACARS, radio, navigation. They have these circuit breakers, failures, system failures. They even have drag and burn. Trust me, the burns, like the aircraft, if the winds are more than expected and stuff, you will see extra burn in the fuel and all that. So the forecast, you'll see the difference between the actual and the forecast and stuff like that. And trust me, it matters. Let's say it really does. Like, you can be on one engine and you're throttling away and stuff with one engine and something, the burns will be different. You would see literally everything's extremely. One of the most important thing is with Tolis is the hydraulic system. The hydraulic system, by far the best system ever in any Airbuses you would see on the market. Now, the thing is, you need to have explain to get that Tolis. So you need to explain, and then you'll be like, okay, well, explain is not looking the best in terms of, for a lot of reasons. The textures, the scenery is not totally the best. The clouds is really good, but it could be very bad looking at times. The lighting is good, but still the lighting could be a lot better. Like, they could have more volumetric lights, but the lighting in X-Plane is not, it's not necessarily always about volumetric. It's like making sure it's in the right places and stuff, but it could be a lot better. Like the street lights and all that. The lights, even the lights on the aircraft, sometimes the probe lights, they're not volumetric. They're more like very 2D type of lights. Like, you could see like the lines of the lights instead of like the big volumetric of the lights. You know what I mean? So that's the thing about X-Plane. They'll have certain little quirks and people will be like, I don't really want to explain. But then the best plane in the market is, in my opinion, I mean, Phoenix is now obviously very, I would say arguably the best as well too. So we're not here to say, okay, don't get this one or don't get that. You know, it's really like, okay, this is what they are, right? And you make your decisions on that. So let me go back to the graphic again. Let me go back to the graphic again. Here we go. All right, and like I say, what else? Yeah, they have literally everything. They have double, like, MCDU. like 2 independent MCDUs. Before a lot of they didn't have that. Explain even in the flight factor at one point they didn't have it initially in the old V1 version, but the V2 version of flight factor 777, the independent CDUs, even the food CDUs independent. That makes it so much more realistic, right? And obviously we know the Arang 424 legs and all that. It's all incorporated in TOLIS. It's literally from day one they've always had that. So it's not like they had to get it. Everything works. You have cockpit printers. You literally have everything. You even have a EFB, a proper EFB. You have even if the EFB you don't want to use the EFB, the plane itself, you can actually click on the buttons like in the radio pages and stuff, and you would see certain things pop up like payloads if you want to change that. Because let's say if you want to contact the ground engineer for weights, if you want to increase more weight, you have to actually call the ground engineer and something and tell them, okay, well, you can take more weight. So you click on the button to call the ground engineer, and then you could literally change your weight on the plane itself, which I don't even know that you knew about that. All right, so let me go into TOLIS. All right, so I don't know if you know about that. You said you'd never had a TOLIS, right? Mm. Yeah, they're really cool, man. Trust me, everything's like proper. Like I'm gonna show on screen right now. So this, no, they have the A3. They have everything. They have the A319, the A320, A320 Neos. It's like a big bundle. So like you could get the expansion pack and stuff. But like this is how it is, and plus the cockpit texture and in from day one in the A3 in the TOLIS have been pretty good. Like I have it on screen now, and like look at how nice it looks. Let me just try to zoom in. Here we go. Like look how everything looks so like proper. Like I mean the EFB, obviously the EFB is based on X-plane type, proper Airbus. Literally a proper Airbus. And like I said, you could literally click on like all these things here. Let me go to the most important part. I like you have this thing here, which is the interactive control system here. This part here, you can literally put your CPDLC and everything inside of here. You can control the sounds, every sound in the plane. You can control it from this add-on, from the plugin thing. You can literally do everything from there. You put your flights, literally everything. And what I like is, let me see if they're gonna show it. Actually they didn't show it here, but let me go back to the other page and let me go to the radio. Let me just click on like a radio thing. For example, this, right? Right. So if you click on like interphone, when you click on the interphone button, it will pop up a screen saying payloads, because that interphone is for you to call a ground crew. And then you could actually increase your payloads, and it will do it like basically, yeah, like literally increase it. So you have the rates. If you want to get more passengers, you click on cabin, and then it will open up a pop-up. So you see like how it was in, I don't know if you know about these things, but like PMDG 777, like in back in the days in FSXP 3D. If you wanted like with FS2 crew, once you like the FS2 crew, once you click on a button, the FS2 crew then now makes it a pop-up screen to show to increase weights or anything like that. But now obviously in TOLIS, you don't need no like FS2 crew. Everything is right there. You just click on it and it makes it realistic. Click on it and then pop-up shows whether you want to increase weights or not. Because obviously you'll be calling the ground crew, telling them, hey, you could take more passengers or whatever the case. Or more payload. Obviously that would be communicated with the pilot. But that's how it is when it comes to TOLIS. So literally everything is done on the fly in the aircraft. Literally on the fly. Like you could do everything. You don't have to go anywhere else or do anything. It's literally everything is done quick and neat right in TOLIS, and that is
by far, the best thing ever. Yeah, so I think that's why people really, really love Tolis. Now, is there a mod? Is there any type of mod for Airbus in X-Plane? No, there is not. There is no mods. There are no mods. There are no extra mods. So either you fly the default A320s or you get Tolis. Right? That's just it. Because Tolis is so good that they have literally nobody else that can beat them on the market. Like literally nobody. So that's why you find everybody just goes with Tolis. And they're like $90, 90 US dollars. So why not just spend $90 and get literally the Neos, the CEOs? Obviously, they'll have different expansion packs in Tolis, and you have the best plane on the market in any simulator, right? Any other simulator, you get the best plane in the market for only $90, and it comes with different, like I said, different. It comes with both the X-Plane 11 and X-Plane 12. So let me just click on this graphic again. All right. Wow, like you have literally everything. You have even a choice of engine, Pratt and Whitney or the LEAP engine, right? And these are the GM or the LEAP 1A, which pretty much standard. Obviously CPDSC and everything, like we said, all circuit breakers, everything, stars, SIDS, and VNAV, top of descent, climb, everything, literally everything, and the plane goes up and down perfectly fine, not like just dropping down. AR capabilities, which is very, very important right there. Literally everything, all the top systems, everything you could possibly think of is in Tolis. All right, so you will not go anywhere else other than paying for a Tolis. Yeah, that's the best I can say on that. Yeah. So I was just saying why there's no other reason you go on anything else other than just Tolis. Yeah. Like, of course, like, yeah, like you could go online, go on the website. Actually, my friends told me about it last night. Which I'll go on it. I'll go on the graphic screen here for a second here. And you can literally just go on to explain.to. Literally last night they told me about that. You could go literally right now, like I showing up on screen here. Once you go here, you have literally all the mods, all the liveries, anything that you want, just go inside there. You want a American Tolis livery. Like, okay, obviously I wrote that wrong, but let's put Tolis. Sorry. All right, here we go. Tolis. So you have A320. You literally any mod, any one that you want. You could go. I mean, you can even search for it. Better than how I just did. So like let's go for liveries, and then let's go for where is the A320s? Where is A320s? Here we go. Tolis A321. All right. So you see that A321, and you can literally get all whatever liveries there is. Literally all of these liveries inside of here, whatever one that you want. You have like 6 pages here of A321 Tolis liveries, and you can go on Tolis A320 Neo liveries, and you can get everything literally inside of here, whatever that you want. All right, so let's say Wiz, and you just click download, and you have Wiz. You put it in your custom scenery. Is it custom scenery? Yeah, is it custom scenery? Oh, explain 12. Put in explain 12, and I believe you either put it in the actual aircraft, like the Tolis aircraft. Yeah, you put it in the Tolis aircraft liveries, and then literally to work. Yeah, not set really. How sick is that, right? Right? Yeah. So trust me. So now we can't even talk about Tulis anymore because we know it's just off the charts. It's literally the best. So we're going on now to the Boeing side of things, and we're going to get to Zibo. So let's get to this aircraft here now. So let's get to Zibo. We all have flown with Zibo, and we know how good Zibo is. Tell me what you think. Well, with Zibo now, oh, um, well, I mean, just generally, I think because I don't really want to talk too much about like developers and them, but just generally, I think I mean, it's a very good default default mod plane, like it's like you don't. I think if you have if you have the Zibo, you will pretty much you have a very good plane already. Like, let's get to Zibo. All right, so and we could see the things that have changed with Zibo, right? Okay, so let me get to this. You'll see up on screen. All right, so coming up on my graphics screen here, and okay, so this is Zibo 737, and you go to this, which is by the Sky. They call it the Skymatic. Well, Skymatic basically is another developer who basically who puts everything together. Like, so you don't have to go on. You could download the installer and then download every single update mod on it. But then, or you could just come here and just get everything with the mod already in one, and you just click download and to download literally the latest version of the entire plane without actually having to download the base pack and then the installations. So I just go to the Skymatic guy and just get that. And what is good about it is now that you have with Zibo, you have actually takeoff and landing performance now on Zibo. Right. Now I can show you that on my channel. So let me go to CaribFly. Because I did a flight with it. Oh, not there. Carib. I did a flight with it. All right. So let me go here. Here we go. A live stream. I believe I did a live stream with it. I believe. Oh, here he is. All right. So this is the Royal Dutch. All right. So I'm gonna take the sounds out, and I'm just gonna show. Okay. So here is the Zibo, and I'm gonna show the FB stuff here now. All right. So I'm gonna show where it actually has the takeoff performance information I put in. Okay, come up more. Oh, here we go. All right, so here it is. So you see, you could actually before you couldn't do the takeoff stuff, but with this version now of Zibo, you could do the takeoff information and all that. You see, you have the derated temps and all of that. All right. Obviously, you need to put. So if I go back to, you need to have this standalone or OPT. You have to basically go on the website and then just download this the GUI, the standalone plugin and stuff, and then put them where it need to be. Like put the plugin in the plugins folder, and then you're gonna be able to get the takeoff performance calculated as well on board takeoff and landing. So you have literally everything, and obviously a few versions back, the weather was actually added to Zibo, weather, and as well as let me go back to my live stream, something called the where is it, where did I put it, the where did I put it? Even the level up, like the level up, which is another mod that actually but I'm gonna get to the Zebo one first. Where did I have it? Actually, I think I put it in a video. Oh, actually, it's in my videos, not here. All right, so if I come to this one, here we go. So it have the weather radar. All right. So the weather radar was finally implemented into Zebo. So let me get into it, and then you see. So like here's weather here. If you come to this panel, oh here we go. So you could actually click on this section here and put the weather radar on. Right, so you could put the weather radar on. You could increase the tilt, increase the gain and all that kind of stuff to see the weather radar, to see all the weather and everything. So let me get to the air where I was showing that information to do with the weather. So I guess you could see on screen there weather, you know, just now. So there is a bit of a storm straight ahead here. We could see the weather here. So where is the weather straight ahead here? Which is showing it, which I'm showing it here. Okay, so it's trying to avoid, not avoid, but the departure takes me away from all of this weather, you see. So yeah, so that's one thing. So obviously they have weather radar in Zebo. They have CPDLC on the verge of getting very, very good, which I mean, you could get certain things, but obviously, like I say, weather, you have terrain, because you have a terrain mod. So you have weather and you have terrain, and now you have takeoff data available now, takeoff and landing performance. And obviously the plane is already, in terms of the climb performance and everything, it's already extremely good. So we will talk about that. So literally Zebo, would you get a Zebo? And then obviously there's the like I said a while ago, the level up. So the level up is actually another mod. All right, level up is another mod, which is another freeware mod, which literally revolutionizes like the Zebo initially, before the Zebo has now updated to look good. So like in the Zebo, you don't have like lights like that. Like look how the lights are in the level up, right? Like the textures is obviously way better in the level up, right? So the UI is obviously different and it's pretty well. Like I said, the lighting and everything is so much better. So basically the level up and the sounds, don't even ask about the sounds. The level up sounds are very, very, compared to Zebo sounds, the level up, literally the sounds are second, literally nothing I've ever seen before. Yeah, so I think at this point, until they update, obviously they've updated to get takeoff data, landing and performance data, right? The level up hasn't have, because they haven't updated to the Zebo, latest Zebo, they don't have the takeoff performance yet. And obviously Zebo hasn't really gotten a better sound, so Zebo is obviously going to have to do well there to try to get better sounds. But I mean, with the Zebo, you have weather as well as terrain, as well as takeoff and landing. So now people might shift back to say, you know what, I probably don't need too much of textures, really good textures and a better sound. And you might figure, I rather have weather radar, landing performance, as well as better how do I put it? Yeah, you have a EFB that works. And you have weather radar and all of that, terrain radar. So to me, those two things, and obviously the entire aircraft system in Zebo works perfectly fine. So you have a choice between Zebo or the level up, depends on whatever you want to do, I guess. Now, is there a competition for the Boeing market? I mean, the only thing is there is the IXEG 737, and clearly No one's that's just the 737, like the 400s, if 500, 600, that kind of thing. 400, 500, I believe. But still, so far we've spoken about freeware mods for Airbuses and stuff, and we haven't had um any really. But the only comparative you would say is PMDG 747. Okay, so I will let you speak about that. What you think about PMDG 737 in terms of that. So yeah, in terms of PMDG, what do you think? And looking at you both of them now, what do you think between PMDG 737s all the way up to the 8 or the 900, whether it is in Microsoft 2020 or 2024? Would you pay for it? Let's say knowing that okay, you have 737 and Explain and stuff like that. If you have Explain and let's say you have Microsoft, would you pay for PMDG knowing that you have very good stuff in like Zibo, for example? What do you think? What makes PMDG so much? What makes PMDG so good that you would pay for it, or would have paid for it before because Zibo wasn't that good yet? It was great, but it's not like it had everything. But now PMDG obviously has takeoff, landing, you have weight, performance, everything all in one. You're literally, so whereas Zibo, you still have to go. I mean, obviously Zibo also have you could actually go in the EFB and change your weights and everything in Zibo as well. So PMDG could do that. But so would you think it's necessary to get PMDG? What is there about PMDG that you would actually see a reason to have PMDG now, knowing Zibo has all of that as a freeware? If so, I guess it depends on what simulator you have. So if you have Explain, you have the planes for Explain. But if you have both sims, and I think that's where it gets difficult, because if you have both sims, then now you have to think of what planes, because like you have both sims to buy things from. You have to buy scenery, buy planes, buy all kinds of things. Like, can you sacrifice? In other words, like saying, you know what, I rather not fly for a fully modded PMDG and probably just keep my 747 in Zibo or level up. I guess that's what's happening, like Phoenix and Fly by Wire. You'll be like, do I need an extra Phoenix? Because I had like one of my friends just gave me a little copy of the A320 and that was about it. But Fly by Wire, I never left Fly by Wire. I felt like Fly by Wire Neo is like that was enough for me because I'm not gonna fly 18, 19 all the time. I barely gonna fly 18 or 19 all the time, So it's like, why do I need all of that? I might fly the 20, and do I need to fly both the 20 CEOs and the Neos? Like, am I gonna fly all of that just to fly real world flights? And I think that's where it gets to a point where you might not want all of that just to fly real world flights. You might just say, you know what, even if, because in the real world, sometimes they change the plane. The A319 I was supposed to fly on that route becomes an A320. So should you buy it just because of the routes that you want to fly? When some of the routes, sometimes they take another plane. Yeah. Yeah. But what's about the performance? But what's about the performance for PMDG? I don't know, but something about the performance. Sometimes the planes climbs a little bit outrageous or flies around a little bit outrageous. But what do you think about that? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. 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 And yep. It's crazy. Crazy, right? Oh, oh. Sound shit. Why does the sound do that shit all the time? Anyways. But yeah, it's I think it's crazy, right? Um but like I said, we're not going to fully state why you should not buy a particular product, because I just want to put it out there for anybody watching or anybody ever, those so far about 30 people already watching it. Um, you know, so thank you first and foremost. Thanks to all the 40 people who came by and observed this. So it's nice, and we have free votes already. Free votes on still flying default or default mods aircrafts compared versus Paywares. So three people said yes to Payware, Payware study level. All right. So thanks to those people so far. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, or follow Kris Mooney as well on his YouTube channel. Yeah, he also is on Twitch as well. So do feel free. Like I said, we very good friends. We love to talk about aviation and stuff. So we're gonna keep this rolling as long as possible. So he's done a few. Obviously I have my podcast. I think I've done about 4 of them already. So we're just gonna keep it rolling because I think it's good to talk about these things. I guess we fly planes all the time, but we don't really hear too many people have little chats about it. Like I say, come and talk some shit if you want to talk some shit. Message, put in the chat if you want to talk some shit about it. This is the place to be. If you want to have your thoughts on it, it's okay. And I think what I notice, people go on different forums, Discord and different forums, and then they type away as much shit as they want to type. Fuck's sake. But they did. I don't think they always come on YouTube live streams and say certain things. Like they probably just want to listen on and something and say behind the scenes fucking shit he's saying. It's so crazy, Yeah, so sleaze bags just talking some crap. But yeah, welcome to the aviation podcast. I should put it on. Right? As much shit as we want, as long as we want. Actually, we're not gonna be talking shit. We're just having a comparison on aircrafts, what we think default or modded planes versus payware planes. What your honest opinion? Yeah. So it's pretty much that. So yeah. So we're gonna continue. Because the aviation world is so huge. that I don't know how, if you have 20 planes, you're gonna fly 20 planes in a year. Like you're probably gonna fly it, but probably fly it once, and you end up spending probably you end up flying about 2% or $2 worth of your 90 pounds or 90 quid, right? You so we hear this talking about it, right? Because I mean it is, I think it's relevant to talk about it, because you're gonna fly like 2% or $2 worth of your 90 pounds that you paid for it. Because can you imagine, I bought Phoenix. I bought Phoenix A320. I bought Phoenix A320 aircraft, and can you imagine, it's been about 6 days yet and I haven't flown it yet. And I bought it 100 and something US dollars, and then an extra $70. I think it costs another extra $60, correct. On top of that, obviously including VAT. I haven't flown a single day of the. Actually, I was supposed to do a live stream last week with it, and I haven't even done it. So I bought a plane. I spent almost 600 EC dollars, or like the US, roughly 200 US dollars, and I haven't flown the fucking plane yet. so fucking shit. So oh shit. Oh my god. Can you imagine, I bought 2024. I have 2024. And I've only flown on 2024 for fucking 10 times for the most. And it came out for since a year now or something. I'm like, what the flick? I just probably wasted 40 US dollars out of 60 because I had the basic one, right? So I basically just wasted 40 US dollars down the drain. Poof, you go. So fucking shit. Right? Yeah, there we go. Developer, you just got my money. Kudos to y'all for taking my money. I know, right? They probably the happiest people ever, just laughing away at us because they know that we are so fucking stupid. All right, but oh, here we are, guys. We are here at random shit to do with aircrafts, freeware aircrafts versus payware aircrafts. And we just spoke about earlier the A320. So for anybody who didn't watch earlier, we spoke about the A320 Neos, in terms of fly-by-wire, the Phoenix A320. All right. We talked about just a while ago PMDG, very brief PMDG 747s versus let's say Zebo 747 and all that. Yeah, so we in the narrow body, right? We in the narrow body. Trust me, we have a long way to go. Like I said, like this stream is gonna end up going on for fucking hours here, right? Because we're gonna just put it all here, right? So we're gonna move along because we're still on the Boeings now. We're gonna talk about iFly Max because we talk about the NGs, but we haven't actually talked about now. So imagine you have PMDG and now you need to buy a fucking iFly 737 Max, right? So here we go again. Money galore. Developers, you got me again. You hooked me again for the millionth fucking time. You've hooked my ass. There you go. Take my money. Bear in mind, I only had a copy of the iFly from my friend. Yet again, like I say, friends, and people always try to help out each other, friends and stuff. But obviously, that's why I've flown with the iFly a few times, but you never see me flying it all the time because it's just a copy. So obviously, I have to buy the original to be able to update it and stuff. So just a friend just gave it to me. So I'm like, should I buy the iFly? I know there's iFly. I have the PMDG, which I'm actually gonna show on screen. Actually, you know what? Let me get this on screen right now. I have the OC3. So all right, here we go. So let me get that on screen, guys. So pop up on screen in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So let me put my display capture on. Here we go. So you see him on screen. All right, here we go. So now you see on screen here, you see what you're seeing here. So PMDG 737 I have for 2024. I also have for 2024 the 300 ER, and obviously for 2020 I have this one here, which is the 300, and for some reason it's not picking up my PMDGs 737s, and then I noticed that it's not picking it up here, because I think initially there was an issue that I had. Right, there's an issue that I had. So let me just update this. There's an issue that I have in my CFG or something, and I don't know why, but it's just not picking it up. So I have to go and try to figure that out, because initially I went to PMDG and I was telling them about it, and then so that they can understand that I don't have access to only COC, so they know about that. But yeah, so let's go on to the iFly now. So you want to talk to me about the iFly if you've flown with it, or if you know about it, anything now. Yeah. Yes. The iFly. All right. Mm. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. iFly 737 Max. Uh, It's on for $70 here. On for $70 here. All right. It's on for $70. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Because it was the early access one, right? Yeah. So it's on for 70, which is pretty nice. I seen. I have it for P3D. I actually have this plane for P3D version 5, because I actually still have my P3D, which is pretty nice. But I mean, this plane, yeah, of course they came on P3D first before they even on 2020. They was on P3D first. Yeah, P3D version 5. So I was on, but then I was like, should I? So like I said, my friend gave me a copy just to see how it is and stuff, and I was like, okay, it's nice. I have PMDG already. So do I need to iFly? Yes, it's a nice plane. It has very good. I would say that live different aesthetics, right? Different aesthetics. So like obviously, you see the chevrons. I show you, the what they call out this, but the layout is the same thing as the PMDG one. The P3D version. Everything in the P3D version is the same. Obviously now they've actually updated this plane to the new version. So let me go to the iFly, in other words, the EFB, right? The Airfly 737 Max, the EFB, right? The update, right? Which we just had, with the SP1. So let me just go to somebody I just want to see the EFB really. So I'm just, come on, where's the EFB? All right, here we go. So here it is. Here it is. I mean, they talk about iPad and stuff. People say, I don't really like how the iPad looks and stuff in the update. But obviously, people figure, it's realistic and stuff, because, people have GoPros and iPads and stuff. I was like, yeah, I mean, but I just don't like how it looks, really, in my opinion. But I understand the idea of it. Everything actually works now, like, properly. So now you don't have to go and put in manually your the weights and all that kind of stuff like that. So let me go to the picture again. Let me go back to where was it a while ago? Where was I a while ago? Yep. All right. There we go. Yeah, go on. Yeah. You fine? Although I actually liked it. It sort of brought out the difference between PMDG to iFly. So that's why I really liked how it is. Like it was always solid. Like if you go on Aviation Pro channel and he showed the iFly everything, bro. Like All right, like I'm talking this out, but let me actually go to this guy called Aviation Pro. All right, Aviation Pro channel. All right, and this is where I got the love for iFly. And this guy was the one who actually, like I say, he was the one who actually iFly that actually showed me what, like, the iFly Max and like why I should have it. Like the way he showed it initially. Let me go back to not this one. Where is these videos? Videos. iFly. Oh, P3D. Let me put P3D. Right. P3D. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh, here's. It's just now. Where? I'm trying to think of. Is that his channel? Oh no, that's not even on his channel. I was supposed to look for iFly. Shit. Is that how you go? Is that how you go about it? Is that how you go about it? iFly review? I wonder if that's the name of it. Was it iFly review or something like that? I'm trying to remember. But anyways, I'm just gonna put P3 iFly P3D. Yeah. And P3D version 5, that's the one. Because version 5 one is so good. I don't know why I said P3D version 5 and it's still showing me 2020 and 2024. Like, what? The internet is just trying to not care about what I'm saying? So that's what's going on now? I just said freaking P3D, you freaking. Alright, so this guy, which I follow as well, TJ, and he shows, about the iFly. For example, this is P3D version, right? And look how, I mean, you could see here. Let me just put this back to a better quality. Like, look at that. That's P3D, right? This is P3D. So just bear in mind for a little bit here. Like, the niceness of it. Like, look at the quality, the lights, everything. I don't know. It just looks pretty well. Like, it looks solid, right? Like, that looks like a proper like a proper plane. You know what I mean? All right, so let's go here. So basically, like I said, the entire thing was already there in the P3D version, right? And that's why it was so nice initially, right? All the systems, everything. The only thing is just it doesn't have ACARs. It didn't have the ACARs completely, like, the to do with the the CPDLC and stuff like that. But it had literally, you just had to put in the weights as well. That's the thing. You have to write in the weights and all that, and then obviously it's gonna put a weighting, a CG, that kind of thing, and obviously, it's a lot of paperwork and stuff, and people don't like to go through too many documentation. Because, like my friends were saying in Discord last night, it's like 1,000 pages or something like that you have to go through, and people just find it's just too hard to go through all of that. But the plane itself is pretty much the same. You don't have to go through all of these systems and all that. It's the same as PMDG. You just see it as a PMDG and you just go along with it like a PMDG. But obviously, I think the weights part is the hard part. People you have to put the weights and then put the fuel thing or whatever. And it became a little bit hard. But I mean, yeah. So do you need an iFly 737 Max compared to a PMDG? I think that's where the question is. Which one would you get? Would you get the Max or the PMDG? I mean, at this point in time, most people have already bought the PMDG, and then they will have bought the Max. So Yeah. Would you? Yeah. Fair enough. Mm. Mm. Good point. Yeah, I think so too. I totally agree with you on that one. I feel like the performances, it seems a little bit more stable and stuff like that to do with the Max, in my opinion. Because PMDG, they did not have the Iron 424 and stuff like that at the time. They didn't have none of that. So you was basically going to a point, like a fixed point, and then turning, and it was like jogging kind of thing. Whereas the Iron 424 is like, it gives you that curved path sort of turns, proper turns and stuff, which is obviously the ICAO rules, ICAO standards across the entire world. Yeah, but I think definitely I would have done the same thing as well too. I'd have gone to iFly because like everything about it is just solid. Um, Before P3D, and I think, sorry, PMDG, and people bash PMDG. They've been bashing him for this year. They've been bashing him last year. They've been bashing him for 2 years with the PMDG 747. They've been bashing them for quite a while because it took them like about 6 months to get an update, right? And people were pissed off. People was like, y'all took so long to get some like an update, right? It used to take 4 months, whereas some developers take 2 months or less than that to update the planes. But it took 6 months to get like a better version of the 2024 PMD because the plane was just not great. It was nose diving kind of thing and whatever. And it's like people were so upset, you know. And they've been bashing them because look now they even it's got even worse where this month from June 1st, they ended the OC2. So no longer any of your, whether you had P3D, PMDG, or your old planes, no longer are they working anymore. I mean, you will have the PMDG stuff. If you didn't actually download all of the liveries and everything yet, then you're pretty much screwed. Because I actually went back to my PMDG in Microsoft 2020 and I saw that it's working still. Like I said, I have, but then it's because I do have the livery. But they said like you would have had to down, and I never knew that. Entire month passed, and I never knew that this was being pushed out. That you have to go quickly and trying to download. I don't even think a lot of people knew about it. And then they had to literally try to download. We didn't know nothing about that. So, and yeah, they said June 1st. So I think I think I can get. I'm pretty sure it's June 1st. I know it was June 1st. There's the OC2. So let me see, OC2 PMDG. Yeah, that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. Yep. Yeah, like 1, 2, it's still you can. Uh, let me put June 1st. I'm pretty sure, right? Because I was following this guy called Adam J. He's in P3D. He's pretty much the guy that talks everything to do with P3D. And they said it was May 26th. It officially retired May 26th. Okay, that's what it's saying here. May 26th. So just let me go on it here on the graphics screen. So May 26th on the graphics screen, May 26th, PMDG OC2 was officially retired, right? And I believe it went on to June 1st as the latest date to download everything, all the planes, everything, and then it ended completely there. So I do have OC2. So let me open up my OC2. Let me just go on to my window capture screen. So this is my window capture screen. So I have a lot of shit on this screen. But let me go on my OC2. All right, I have a lot of shit like I say on the screen, and here you go. This is what you see on the screen just now. It says I am unable to reach PMDG servers. Certain features are disabled. Please check your connection. Whatever, dismiss. Unable to reach the servers because they ended it, so you no longer have global flight operations and aircraft and liveries. So the AC2 is no longer operational anymore, and that is the end of that. So to anybody who wants to use, like I say, use it, yeah, they have no other option. I think there is a fix that Adam J said, something like a under carpet thing where you have to, like, somebody created a mod or something like that to try to get the liveries to work in a manual way or something like that. Now, yeah, I'm not gonna go into that because we're not gonna be talking about that. But you were saying something, so go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Have you not? But I have. Okay. I've flown a few times on it. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. 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 That's that. That's the thing. Yeah. 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 I don't. I don't. Yeah. I will agree on you that. Like, I don't like the performance type with the PMDGs and stuff when it comes to the Sim 2024 as well. So it's like I don't know, like it just doesn't. And then the way the aircraft handles like physics and stuff is still not the best in my opinion. So that's just our opinion. Not that we are pilots, but yeah. All right. All right. Well, okay. So guess what? We've been going on quite a long time with the narrow body aircrafts. I mean, at least we've talked about Tolis, we talked about Zebo, we talked about the the level up V2. We talked about the IXCG. We talk about the um just that. All right. So yeah, we also spoke about fly by wire. So tell me what you think, Chris. Um Tim, what you think about? I mean, I don't want to really speak about um the Airbus A220 because, like, I mean, there is not, apart from the synaptic simulations, freeware. Sorry, the project that have to come out. Um, so we're not gonna talk much about. We're not. Yeah, but let's go to the mid-size wide body before we go into the long haul, right? So the big boys. So we're gonna start off with, again, Aerosoft A330, which I think they've disappointed us with the A330. That's why you're not seeing no one's. Yeah. Mm. Hmm. Um, I think like it's just based on the. I think it's just based on, like, the way they do it is just based on the category. For example, like an A380 can still fly like a 5 hour flight, but it's still like just based on the weight category. It's like a heavy. It's a super because of the weight cut. So I think it's just based on its category. So that's why, like, I mean, 777s don't always do 10 hour flights. Most of the 777s they will do like probably 8 hours, 7 hours, and that kind of thing. But the planes can go way more than 7 8 hours. That's like a 767. 767s and them just do like the 7 hour flights. But still, the PMDG, the 777s, they still fly the same length. But you can't call a 767 a long haul. It's still a narrow, like it's still like a mid range aircraft compared to 777 is like a long haul, a wide body, um, a mid, not a mid size, but a long haul wide body. Yeah, so it's just based on the weight category, really. That just makes it the difference. But yeah, anyways, let's move along because we have another section to cover here, which is the, like we say, the A330 section. Now we're gonna go to the headwinds now. We're gonna talk about headwind versus the Aerosoft A330 versus the versus Tolis versus Enables. So there's a lot to cover here. So we have Tolis with the A330s both on 2024, right? They integrated on 2024. That's Enables. And you have Aerosoft A330 Payware. You have the headwind headwind A330 Freeware, right? And that's both the A330 Freeware Neo. That's the Neo, obviously. They're still in the works of getting the 200s and stuff, but the Neo, and then you have what was the third one we said? Fourth one. So you have the Aerosoft A330, the tallest. That's the one, tallest. Right. So we already said that tallest is above everything else we can ever possibly think of. Right. But X-Plane has the best aircraft, best realistic aircraft, yet still it's the sim that people doesn't like. Right. Right. So that's weird. So, and apparently Aerosoft A330 sort of disappointed people with like just the systems and certain things didn't seem to work well. So yeah, they disappointed people there. But headwind. So if I go to like back, let's go to the graphics section. All right. So let me just take out this display screen here. Let me go to actually let me go to the actual display screen. Let me put this up. And now we have the headwind. So we have the 330, which is a freeware, and it obviously it comes through basically the fly-by-wire, right? It's basically a fly-by-wire A330 Neo, if you think about it, because it uses the fly-by-wire stuff. And the good thing about it is it's a complete. You don't need to have the fly-by-wire in the simulator. It's a standalone basically characteristics of fly-by-wire, right? So that is really nice that you don't need none of that, and you could just use the headwind and fly the plane, and you'll be fine. You know, you have the sim link which gets the terrain data and stuff like that, right? So that's nice. Like, and to me, it has. I mean, they did a mod, right? So let me go to the headwind to see that it changed so much, right? They've changed so many things about the headwind A330 that is the Neo that is so good now that I think, like, is it worth going and pay for like a Airsoft A330 and all this kind of stuff? Like, when you see some of the things that have changed in this aircraft, let me go to the 900. Here we go. And you see the things that have changed in this aircraft. Like, you have the AFB, you have sim brief integration. Yes, you still have the Navigraph, you have wing flex and stuff, you have PBR, you have the native and MSFS effects, obviously the sim bridge and everything. But one of the most, like I said, the most important thing is the actual aircraft display. Before, they made a display update A330 update, which they did the update where everything looked so nice, right? Let me go to the images. When they actually finally updated it was a pre-release to, and they had a whole teaser. So this mod was looking like the A320. The cockpit was looking like the A320, but now it actually looks like the entire A330. All right, you can see here the entire cockpit here looks like the actual A330 cockpit. So that is super nice to see that finally. So let me just open it up a bit. Finally, the headwind is looking exactly like the actual A330, a real world A330. All right. So I'm not even gonna dive much into it. But now the looks of it, you have CPDLC obviously, because remember the fly-by-wire has CPDLC and all that. So you have everything in this plane. So would you need Airsoft A330? I don't think. But again, A330 in the Airsoft is not the 300. It's not fly-by. The Neo is not the 300. So you might want to fly a 300 because that's what they fly more around the world. More like the 200, the 300, and not necessarily the Neo. There's barely a lot of Neos. So, but in my opinion, there are some mods you could use to fly like a 200. Some free on MSFS mods to fly like a 300 or so. Do you need a Payware? I don't think so, in my opinion. But you have Tolis as well. And we're not even going to talk about Tolis because we know Tolis has literally everything in this Neo. Literally everything in this Neo, right? So right away, you already know, like, there's not even much to talk about on that side of things. It's just completely everything is all there. So it's gonna beat the market by a long shot. All right. Now you have, in terms of explain, you have Tolis versus the actual default A330 that comes, which actually is updated actually. On explain the default A3, the default A320, A330. Yeah, it has gotten a big update. So many things is on board this update of this plane. So let me go to, actually it's in Discord, if I show it in Discord. Yeah, I can actually show it. I think if I can, let me see. Default A330 update. Yeah. 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 Yep, they did. Mm-hmm. Shit. Listen, I'm just putting up on screen here. The C check update, which was for Explain 12.4.0, which had the update to do the A330. So now you have whether you want to get TOLIS or just fly with the A330, the improvement one, because now the improvement, because I actually flown it and it's really good in my opinion. You have new hydraulic system, new electrical bus, you have Hoppy ACAS support, you have the new bleeds, which I find was really nice, the cockpit textures, even the flight models for me, the ADIRS simulations, right? You have a new ADIRS simulations, which actually works pretty well. You have a full CDU. And I'm showing some pictures here on the screen here. Like, it's so nice, like just literally how it all works. There's a video actually of that same of the improvements of this A3 okay, so let me see if I can get the actual video to show the here it is. Is that it? Come on. Right. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So you could see here, like, just I mean little quirks. People might say, well, that's not much. But little quirks like that, like, they've fixed so many things. Like, not cold and dark electrical, but even when the plane goes into the like, for example, I'm showing now the flight model of the autopilot. When it goes into clouds, the plane actually shakes a bit. Look at it shaking now a little bit, because it's actually going to a big cloud, a big dark cloud model. Like, it's shaking properly and stuff like that. Like, you don't see that in any of, like, planes like that. And that, yeah, so that is really, really good. And it also has like a whole the electrical, where is it? I could say the hydraulics of it. Where's the electrical side of things? The hydraulics, they've updated the hydraulics side of it. Oh, they don't want to show the video. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen how it is. Like, the actual everything opens up pretty well. Like, here it is. Here it is. Like, you can actually see things doing pretty well. The ADRS is, and obviously they wanted to show it there, but that's fine. They don't want to go into it. But the point is, like, the plane have come such a long way that it's, in my opinion, it's pretty nice now. That you would tell yourself, okay, the tallest is the Neo. Do you need the Neo compared to, like, yes, I would still say, because for me the A330, the default is still the payloads and all this stuff. You still have to go through the actual menu to update the weights and stuff like that. You want to be able to do everything, I guess, in the aircraft as well. But do you really need the Neo? Not really. You don't need the Neo, but you could fly, because for me the A330 mod that comes with Explain 12 as a default now, it's already good enough to fly all around. Like, literally put in the weights and everything, the takeoff performances, everything. I guess that's where the Neo makes more sense, because, like, you have takeoff performance, landing, CPDLC, all these kind of extra quirks. So it's up to you. But SimBrief already has now a takeoff and landing performance calculator. So you just put in the default stuff and get the performances, and then you'll be pretty fine. So it's up to you if you want to use that tweak, or if you want to just, tweak, like, extra, you just have to do extra little steps, as in go on the SimBrief and then update the weights and everything, and then click compute and stuff, and then get the weights for takeoff and stuff. Now, if you're somebody like me that wants to save every little dollar wherever you are, because, I mean, I've probably spent in my lifetime probably $3,000 on flight sims, because just paying for things. Exactly. So I'm like, do I need to do that? Nope. Yeah. So for me personally, I think the default the Lemina Research A330, I think it's pretty good. Okay, so now there's no 767 or 757 yet. Obviously, Bluebird have to drop that for the sim. And it looks pretty well, but it's taking them time because the team is very, very small. And the team obviously have to make sure the systems, everything is working, but like they have to make sure the physics and everything is working pretty well and stuff, and that's going to take time. So that's why they probably haven't been able to release it. They obviously released it for Flight Team Expo and stuff, but then it's still not fully. They probably have a lot of different quirks and a lot of errors and certain things that they have to try to fix before they could even put this out. But in Explain again, this is why Explain always wins. Explain has flight factor 767 and the 757. Even if they have the performance issues, they're by far better than any other 67s and 757s on the market. You so there again, Explain have won in all the aircrafts we talk about so far. All right. Hands down. And now we're going to go into I guess you can call the 787 is also like a mid-size wide body. So you have Horizon, if Horizon 787 mod. Again, that mod, Jesus Christ, these mods, you need to have the premium deluxe version of 2020 or 2024 to then have Horizon 787. Now, I think they released the DLC in 2020, if I remember. Like, they openly released it, so you could literally download the premium deluxe 2020 787 and just add it to your community folder, because they just released it now, so it's no longer just only premium holders. Cause like I said, the DLC file, they've opened it or unlocked it to everybody. So now you could download that and then get the Horizon 787 and fly with the 787. All right. Yeah, that's a 787. That's a mod, and obviously the Horizon is really, really well, in my opinion. The Horizon 787, it also uses a lot of systems of actually, you get the Horizon 787 on the Headwind, right? On the Headwind installer, right? Here we go. Yeah, on the Headwind installer. Yes, yes, yes. And it has the Trent and the General Electric. But it says here you need the Asobo, which I'll probably have to show on the graphic here. Yeah, it says here you need to have the Asobo 787 Dreamliner to use it. And I mean, we don't even want to go into. I'll probably open up. Let me see if can I get into that on the screen, on this screen here. Let me take out the display screen. Put this screen off. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's To be honest, yeah, it's a really nice plane. Like the takeoff, the way it takes off and everything is so nice in the rotation, everything. Like they worked really well, really hard to make sure they get those performances pretty well in the 787. And I mean, hands down from day one, it it always was well. So, um, but I want to go into. They used to have a 787 in P3D, and that's where it first started off, right? The 787 P3D, right? And they call it quality wings, which I'm showing up on screen here, which I'm not even sure if you knew about that. But quality wings was by far the best 787 ever on any market. It is still, in my opinion, the best aircraft. It's because it's an entire full system. It has everything, the different engines, literally all the things works like APU doors, inlets, everything, the sound, the drag. You have all the fly-by-wire systems, everything. Like literally, Quality Wings was the best simulator for those type of fly-by-wire design, weather radar, and everything. So if you've never seen it, um, but I'm not gonna go. No, I'm not gonna go to the promo video. But you have literally everything: the system, the ICAS, everything, down to literally. Let me see if I could probably put on pictures. Just now, let me see if there's pictures. Yeah, yeah. The wing flex on this plane was by far the best ever. And I find like I think the Horizon 787, the wing flex is really nice. I really like the wing flex on the Horizon 787. Yeah, but this plane was by far the best, and they had everything. Even like you had to get something called to see like the airport layout, right? You could get a file, and then you can actually get the airport layout in the actual plane. So like when you zoom in, actually zooming in, and you see like the actual taxiways and stuff. Imagine that plane back in since P3D. Yeah, yeah, of course it had all of that already. So once the actual Payware airport has that type of file attached to it, you have to like just sync it again, sync in the plane, and then it actually adds it on as that when you scan it, and then yeah, when you zoom in and stuff, you actually see in the airport layout and all that. Yeah, so this plane, trust me, I have to go back to these planes again, back in P3D, because they were by far the best study level planes. It's just unfortunate they never really went on into but there is and that's coming up pretty soon, and guess who it is? Velocity. I'm sure you probably heard about them. Velocity 7 Velocity 787, which is on course to getting launched. So yeah, I think they're doing no, they do the 787s. So they're on course to releasing that. Let's see, where is it? 787. They're coming for 2024, I believe. Yeah. 2024. Jesus, why am I can't write today? There we go. So where are they? All right, here we go. No, that's Horizon Simulation. So 2024. Yeah, we know Horizon is coming up, but the actual Velocity. Why can't I see them? Oh, did I put B787? I'll just go on my actual channel on my YouTube. Let me go on CaribFly because I actually have it in my news. Yeah. Oh, I hate when these things do that. CaribFly. So we go up here. All right. And then if you go on to my videos, I released a video. Big news that are finally coming, are finally happening. And then the first one is which I believe I spoke about. Yeah, velocity 787. So there we go. So I said velocity, I mean vector. So you tell me I said the whole time I said velocity and I mean vector. So why couldn't you just read into it and just like that's what I meant, not velocity, vector. It could have just it literally the thing just had me there waiting, like, it could have just tell me, But here it goes. The 787 Dreamliner coming. And trust me, the amount of things it's displaying is basically a full everything. So basically it's like that whole plane I showed earlier, the quality wings, literally everything here is there, as well as you could see here, the EFB all works with all of that there. Obviously you could see the route here, everything works here. And look how the EFB is here as well. That is pretty nice. So you have all of these things here, the charts, everything. So it's like quality wings, basically. The same quality wings 787. It's like a full on, but the performance and obviously the way the aircraft handles and stuff. This is from 2024. So clearly they've been already close to releasing this aircraft. You can see all the hydraulics, everything works here pretty well. So I'm looking forward. Obviously the CPDLC and stuff as well, so it's really good. They are built-in Boeing EFBs and all. As you can see, all these things here. So wow, this is really nice. So what's gonna happen to headwind the not headwind, horizon? Yeah. Hi, Jumbido. Sorry if I took some time. Hi, Jumbido. I guess he voted for still love the mods. Yeah, so I love the mods too, so I like that. Yeah, man. Yeah. So what you're saying? Go ahead. Oh. It's cracking again. Oh dear. Oh, that was really harsh. It's cracking again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Go on now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, was yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree on that point. But not much I could actually argue against that very point there. I was just thinking of this right now. I think we'll probably leave those points because I mean if we go into the long haul, Jesus, like nowadays they're so focused on the long haul aircrafts that we will end up going on for another 2 hours again, I'm pretty sure, because the long hauls have so much to talk about that I think I'm gonna leave that and I'm gonna write a note stating that obviously I'm gonna put. Let's talk about heavy long haul wide bodies now. That's probably gonna be the next title. So yeah, because I'm gonna leave that as that. Yeah, and next Sunday's episode for sure. so so just going to recap here. So we spoke about the A320s, Phoenix, the iFly, PMDG 747s. We talk about in terms of the freewares now, fly by wire. Talk about Zebo, the level up in terms of the freeware. Then we went on again and started speaking about in terms of Payware stuff, the Bluebirds, 757, 767s, as well as Aerosoft A330, and then talk about on the Freeware side, the Horizon 787, and the basically it's a fly-by-wire, the A330, which is headwind, but it's on basically using obviously the fly-by-wire type of systems, right? And I believe, yeah, we spoke about what's to come in terms of the payware for the slightly higher mid-size wide body going into the long haul would be this comparison between 787 Horizon and then the Vector 787 to come. This Vector 787 to come. So that is, in my opinion, quite a lot we talk about today. Like I said, and I will say it again, it's not to we're not trying to say okay why not to buy this plane or whatever. It was just to talk. All we spoke about is what the features are, what they have, which I showed on screen multiple times. If I go back on the graphic here, so let me just take out this display screen, this display capture. So we spoke about, like it's showing here, the Vector, which has to come, all of the systems, some of the things. So this is going to be a full payware aircraft that's going to be in the sim as the 787 compared to what we already have in the sim, the which I'm going to show on screen now using the display capture screen here, which the 787 from Horizon Simulation, which in my opinion already looks really well, and everything is really nice in the 787. And then we went on to even talk about in terms of the 737s, like the level ups, which some of the payware freeware, sorry. Even the Zebo mod, which I just showed here, and Zebo obviously using both the takeoff and the landing, and now you have takeoff, landing, all the performances, everything you can put in the EFB now, and obviously you have weather radar. So for me, Zebo is now a complete aircraft with everything that you need. You don't, in my opinion, you don't even need to go and pay for any sort of PMDG. If you figure you don't mind just flying if freeware and not having to pay for aircraft, don't look for. If you don't need the iFly, you don't really need it because you already have a Zebo. If you have Explain and you like Explain, so that's what we were just saying. Giving you all reasons to show why certain aircrafts is good enough, and it's your choice, whichever one you think. But we gave quite a lot of insights as to in terms of the narrow body. Yeah. What do you think? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So like the expansion from the Phoenix. Yeah. It's like, um, yeah. I mean, we didn't speak much about flight FS Labs as well, for example. So it's like there's a lot of payware here and there and stuff, but you're paying for more and more and more, more in depth and more in depth. And my thing is, all right, and this is where I'm gonna put it on my screen now, right? I'm gonna put it on my screen just so that you guys can see my view, okay? And I was saying, right, if you have 20 planes, you are gonna fly a couple of them only about 3 times in about 7 months, 8 months. And the plane would have costed you probably $40 or something, $50. Some of them as high as $80 and beyond. But are are you gonna just buy these planes just to fly some routes? Um, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to just buy some planes just to fly a few routes in a year, because end up spending. You're gonna end up basically flying about 20% of the $80 that you paid for it. In my opinion, and that's why when people ask me about planes, if I have other planes and whatever, I'll tell them I'm strategic in terms of how I buy things, because at the end of the day, I'm looking at it from a standpoint of, okay, I already spent so much money back in the days. I probably spent, like I said, almost $2,000 already in flight sim stuff over the years. It's coming to a point where I'm just gonna get the best thing that I think. Like I bought Inibills at the time, and then it didn't even work properly for my system. It works well. I actually had to get a 2K mod, and when I use the 2K mod, the plane flies really well on my 2020, like in high payware. So it just seems like some of these mods, like you have to turn down the textures. For example, the A380 fly by wire. Once you turn down the textures from 8K to like 4K or 2K, it flies really well. You can actually fly. So you have to make a little bit of a trade off, and I don't think it makes sense to um, pay for so many aircrafts um, just to fly a few routes. Yeah, exactly. Right. That makes a lot of sense, right? Um, yeah. So, and I think this is going to be a very good conversation to have. The reason I say that is because the market for flight sim is growing more and more and more, and then you need more and more informative. And I don't think, I mean, I don't want to say, okay, not to give the developers money, but we need to really speak on it so that we really let these developers know, hey, we are not just here, you just eating our money. We want the best thing. Give us a good product, because we are not stupid. We want the best things for what we're paying for. Don't do like PMDG, like what PMDG did, rip us off. And I made an update once in 6 months. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? We were so pissed off. Right? We were so pissed off because like the plane just wasn't working pretty well. And it had some little issues, some even like in terms of like the registry. Some people had registry issues. Like myself, I had a registry issues with PMDG at the start. Couldn't get it to get working properly on my system. It's still not even reading the OC2. Yeah, but eventually did after a while. But yeah, so not much I can say on anything else, because I think we spoke about everything. The iFly, the updates, the narrow bodies, everything. So which planes do you not have in terms of the narrow bodies? Just to finish off here, which ones do you not have in terms of? You don't have the Tolis. Okay. Shit. Ah, right. Yeah. So that's probably gonna be another topic to talk about. Like, are you gonna be like, are we gonna stay people that just enjoys Boeing and Airbus, or we gonna be those type of people where we might go into a Dash 8? You know, like how. Although I find it's not exciting, it doesn't seem like it's trending like on social media. People go into like the Dash 8, people go and fly a 8220, people go and fly a, you know, the ATR, you know, like yeah, they talk about ATR there 2024, but um not really a big sort of headline. It's just that finally like there's ATR to talk about, like to fly with, but not like a big ass headline. Um so that's on that. But my thing is they have so many default planes, mod planes, Freeware planes, that I have a combination between Payware and Freeware. So I have PMDG, the 737, the 800. I have the 800s. I have the 700, I believe. Yeah. I have it for 2020 and 2024. I had a copy of the Phoenix, but just the basic one because of my friend. Obviously the headwinds, the Freeware, the headwinds. I have all of the Freewares because they're pretty good. In terms of, again, the Payware, I have Payware 777 and stuff, but we'll talk about that on the next one. Fly by wire, the A320, obviously I have all of that, like I just said. Phoenix, I paid for FS Labs, but that was not on that. That's on a different platform. But that still didn't work. But all in all, I'm still waiting for a 767. I actually have the full 757 and 767, 767 400. So we had to do a flight from like Munich to London or something, Munich to GFK on the 767 400. So I haven't done those type of those streams. So because like I just don't know, the 757 is just not my best aircraft, so I don't know. Okay, so I think that's about everything with that. We talked about TOLIS already. We don't want to talk about TOLIS. We said TOLIS is the best aircraft in the market. We already said that. We know that. We don't have to deny that. Phoenix is the best, in my opinion. Phoenix is the best in terms of okay, the price and the bundles that you get for the price is first to none, not second to none, first to none. Like, you cannot get any better pricing for aircrafts that has everything. But obviously you need 2020, and obviously by now everybody would have had 2020 around the world, in my opinion. Aerosoft A330, nope. I don't think barely people have that. People rather just fly with the headwinds. Yeah, people rather just fly with the headwinds. Although I think I might I'll be tempted to just get some aircraft just for the live streams, I'll be tempted just to get some aircraft, just waste some money just to do things for the live stream. Just because I'll be like, you know what, instead of wasting it on going and drink rum and alcohol all the time, booze, big booze, might as well just probably spend it on a product and just to show off an aircraft and have some good fun with it, even if it's probably sure. Then, like I say, go and spend it on some bitches. Yeah, some shit like that. But the Horizon 787, in my opinion, that is the best aircraft in terms of takeoff and landings. It's so super smooth. I mean, I say that from 2020 standpoint. Obviously, TOLIS beats in everything. TOLIS wins in everything. But in terms of Microsoft, in terms of the freeware, I still think, yes, the Zibo is fine. The level up performance is fine. But the Horizon 787, the engine sounds, for a freeware that is such a modern day plane. It's not like it's a plane where it's the 737 been there for ages. This plane is not even like 10 years old, and we already have such a good system plane in the sim. And obviously this plane starts off on electrics, right? So you can start both engines in the sim as well. Not even, it's proper. You start both engines literally right away, and it actually works exactly like the 787. I'm like, how did they even get all this data so fast? Like, did they pay extra money to like say, hey, can you get data? Can I get extra data on this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'm thinking of that because I'm like, Bluebirds and them is such a small company. They will not get all the data. So that's why it's taking them so long to get all that. I'm like, Horizon is a freeware developer and them. How did they get all of that? All right. So just like Fly-by-Wire. How did Fly-by-Wire get all this, like the Neos and all of them? Like, how did they get all this data so fast in the sim? Obviously, I guess whoever they are, they're super powerhouse. Um, um, but I would say um, in terms of systems and like I said, Phoenix beats on the pricing for the systems that they have by far. Fly by wire, obviously, everything about fly by wire in terms of freeware, they beat on everything except just don't have a takeoff calculator and that kind of thing. A a proper calculator. But other than that, they don't have a takeoff calculator, and also they don't have a weather radar. It's just terrain. But um, but the systems, everything is getting way better than before. Um, so they all win. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, hey, it's not about saying not to get this or whatever. They all win in their own way, right? They all win in their own way. So, and I guess that's why they keep hooking us and just saying, "Yeah, man, Kris, give me your money, man. Give me your money." Or either you get this product here, or you get mine. Give me your money. Like, and you'll be like, "Yeah, you know what? I love you guys. I'm gonna give you some money. I want this. I also have the freeware. But I also want your money too. So like, you could have this, like when the sales agents and them, you're gonna buy some clothes and they try to, yeah, you want only one type of clothes and they'll tell you why this would also fit well on you, and you're like, bro, all I came for is just this one thing. But they try to tell you why this would make more sense for you. I'm like, you don't tell me what makes more sense for me. I'm telling you what I came here for. I didn't come here for anything else other than this. So don't tell me what else makes more sense for me. You know. Um, but yeah, that's just flight sim for you. So just hooks you all the time and tell you, all right, just get this, get this, get this. Like everybody thought the every footy was gonna be great, and just like get it, and then you realize, nope. Then PMDG, the 737, you're like, yeah, PMDG is finally integrated into Microsoft. And then you realize they took forever to be updating the plane and all that kind of things, and you felt abandoned. You felt literally abandoned for the first time in your life. You felt abandoned by PMDG. Even Phoenix and them who doesn't even have like the highest price planes and stuff, they were always updating their planes to try to make it better. Um, um, and even Tolis is always updating the planes. So you just felt abandoned by PMDG. Yeah, Ram, that's what you fucking can. Sorry, hopefully I clipped that out so you don't hear that. Um, but that's that. So I think we're gonna leave it there, and then like I said, we'll probably go into the long haul stuff next time, and then also on your channel whenever again you want to have your next podcast, obviously I'll be there. So guys, once again, Kris Mooney. I mean, he's been on. He took a break from YouTube and stuff like that. Also Twitch. I'm on Twitch, but I just didn't have the effort. So um, it's good. Um, im- um, I would like to come on Twitch though, but like it's just so hard. Yeah. So, but yeah, finally I'll just say obviously um my awards thing, which I'm not sure if you guys knew about that, but my awards thing is actually on the way. It's gonna be yeah, my actual gaming awards thing is on the way. Um, well, it should be. I'm hoping for a better release or to release it. Um, at some point. I'm just not gonna tell you all. Um, when exactly, but let me just. Probably I can go on the graphic screen. And then let me see. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna open up that on a bigger screen, and then let me see how does that look. Um, I wonder if I should do it that way instead. I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna give it a try. Okay, so I will put it as that. So it's on screen now. CaribFly. It's been over a year since I've been designing this all by myself. Literally everything. So this is a subscription stuff here. Free version here. Basic really. 0.50 really. Just to, and that just goes in just the charges. So it's not even goes to me. It's just to kickstart it. Yeah, you have $6, $2.99 per month. And right, so in this stuff here, we're gonna be able, basically you like get a chance to win money. So every time you reach like 1 million in total balance, or 2 million or 4 million, you actually get cash. So I'm giving away cash to anybody who wins or reaches those threshold. So these are some of the flights and stuff, just testing out things and whatever. So you'll see everything here. What's important is like rating is actually no longer just based on flight. Rating is actually based on everything. So if you don't put the landing lights on, it's actually going to track that when you take off. So it's going to remove some points in the ratings for not doing that. If you have the wrong flap settings on landing, it's going to track that. If you going on the taxiway without if you land on the taxiway instead of a runway, it's gonna drop your ratings. If you nose diving too hard, like you're ready to kill the people, your rating is gonna drop. If you don't put your strobe lights on, your rating is gonna drop. Right? If you leave the airport, like I believe it's 15 minutes. If you delayed by an hour, you are gonna end up in penalties. Right? So here, no penalties yet. There's a few penalties, but I'll talk a little bit more about that at some point. But you could get delayed by about 30 minutes. You could get delayed by 50 minutes or so, but the points goes down. The ratings start to go down once you reach a certain point. All right, the ratings will go down. After 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes, I believe. 20 minutes if you're supposed to be departing out of the airport. 20 minutes and you're still on the tarmac and stuff, it's just gonna go down by a little bit, not a lot. But if you like a whole hour, you haven't actually pushed back after a whole hour and then then it's gonna drop heavily in terms of the rating, and then you're gonna end up in penalties for not departing on, so that's that. So good thing about that is I actually put it in a way where you can actually see who you can look at yourself. So whereas before in a lot of things you couldn't actually see who's who, so you can actually see who's different people. Bear in mind these are just test names and all that, test people and all that stuff. So it's not. So this one has done twice, two flights. Actually, these are people, but they were just test flights and stuff. So Trinidad. Now, if you go back on the dashboard, you'll see routes here, and my awards thing is based on flights in and out of the Caribbean, right? So I'm in and out of the Caribbean. So as you can see, flights going into Orlando, Toronto, Dallas, Fort Worth. All of these are real world flights. Goes down to Atlanta, all across the entire Caribbean. Obviously, both ATRs and A320s, A3neos, A340s, 777s. Those goes to as far as Switzerland. There is flights from Switzerland going all the way into Punta Cana. All right. There are flights from EDDF Frankfurt going into Barbados or different parts in the Caribbean, and obviously EGGLL, EGKK and stuff. As you can see the screen there, the pictures, Caribbean Airlines. Now I also have cargo flights as the FedEx, DHL, ATRs, different planes, 777, and the entire thing is here. As you see here, it says you won't find another VA that looks at awards from the awards from VATSIM awards, because I actually have VATSIM awards, which I'll go into just now, to legacy flights, right? So I have also legacy. So I will, I'm just gonna go straight into it. So as you see here, in terms of the legacy, there's historic routes from the iconic A380, A340 and DC-6 flights that actually used to travel in the Caribbean. So I actually decided to put it on. So then if I go into historical, here are some of the flights. So like Pan Am or Pan American, British West Indian Airways or BWIA they call it. KLM used to come in the Caribbean as well, doing different routes. Obviously, Curacao, Trinidad. Some of them are a little bit fictional. Some of them are, most of them are actually real. Back in the days, like Pan Am for sure is used to operate in San Juan, Saint Martin and stuff. All right. Obviously, British West Indian Airways used to go across the Caribbean. All right. Now these are the aircrafts like the A340. There was a BWIA A340. And obviously, they used to have cargo flights in across the Caribbean with the DC-6. And obviously, for those who didn't know, the Concorde used to actually go across the Caribbean. It used to go from Heathrow to Barbados, and from Barbados, they used to go to New York from Barbados. So these used to be flights, as you see here, Barbados to New York. They also operated some of those flights, as you see here, Barbados to London. Also Barbados to New York. So they used to have those flights. Concorde used to operate those flights, and it was as soon as 2003. Yeah, obviously the crash happened and stopped all flights from then. But these are some of the flights, as you can see here. There's also a TriStar. Some of my friends actually told me about that, which I didn't actually know. But the TriStar, the British West Indian Airways, so they also used to operate in the Caribbean. Like I said, there's something that I didn't actually know about. So if you want to know about it, you could see some little information about it, right? So some of these routes, like I say, I actually added on. So this is where I'm going to talk about it in terms of the balance. So this is where you actually need to actually pay for a subscription. So the when I mean pay, as in like this thing here. Once you get a subscription, this one's the basic ass one. Just 50 cents really. And then you'll get access to this page here, which tells you all about your thing. So let me just go to what am I as a CaribFly channel at hotmail.com. All right, and I believe let's put CaribFly channel. All right, I believe here we go. So I just put that, but obviously I'm going to change all of that information, right? So don't worry about that. All of that is going to change. All right. So like I said, literally everything is going to change. So you won't get access to any of that anyway. Actually, it's just in. It hasn't been launched yet, so this will not be the same. Yeah. So as you see here, I already did 290 flights. All right, 290 flights. Wait, Kris, you here? Kris, you here? Oh, he's probably going on a break here. But right. So 290 flights. So as you can see, I've reached the 1 million. So obviously I will have I'll have won this award. All right. So all of the little information in terms of your flight revenue, expenses, and all these things, they will be here. And then if we go to the awards, so here's the awards section. So I have 29 awards. 29 awards. There are different awards. 15 for the basic. If you're a basic user, you have 15 awards. 18 if you're the basic year, then you get 18. You get 15 plus the free exclusive ones. And then if you're full, you get 29. You're full 29. All right, so you get all of them, and then obviously full access to all the awards, obviously. So both of them is full because you pay the entire package. All right. So that's that. And obviously it's locked here because, like I said, you're not going to be able to see certain things here because it's all locked because of mine. But if you go in awards progress, you would see the awards progress. So for like CaribFly channel, all right, because everything is locked, you're not going to get any access, or you're not going to see some of these awards, all right? In other words, because everything is already locked, all right? So that's why you're not going to see anything here, because I'm on a locked one that is obviously not yet launched. But yeah, you could go in different things there, and then when you claim your prize, let's say you win an award, you go to when you get that screen will only come up when you actually receive the award, and then obviously you put in your PayPal, whether you're using PayPal. But if you're not using PayPal, you just click on whichever one, whether you want a Steam $20 gift card, if you want a Microsoft gift card, or if you want an Explain gift card, whichever one that you think is necessary. So you basically win $20 on a gift card, because I didn't want to put it actually like to give you something, because you might not want that something. So you just get a $20 voucher basically, or the gift card, and that can go to whatever you have already in your actual, whichever one that you have. If you're a Microsoft Store, which I do have, which Steam, which I have actually all my games on Steam, and I do have Explain as well for the Explain store. So yeah, so and then you just basically claim your reward, you're gonna get it. All right. So coming back to the expenses, so you see all your expensive stuff here, and also very important, the analytics. So you can see who did total flights, night flights, total hours. You can see all of that. Hey, it said default Payware for aircrafts are both good. Yeah. Default and Payware aircrafts are both good. Yeah, they are actually, in my opinion, pretty nice. Yeah. All right, so here we go here. All right, so here we see like somebody did 51 flights. Obviously, I changed it so that you just see the user. You don't see who the actual person is. So they did 61, but 57 completed. 28 of them is nighttime flights. Night flights are actually anytime the flight is departed like between 6 o'clock in the afternoon to 6 o'clock in the morning local time of wherever you are in the world, whichever airports that you are in terms of the Caribbean, the airports that I have actually attached to it. It's actually a nighttime flight. So if the flight arrives after 6 o'clock, it's a nighttime flight. Or if it arrives after 6 in the morning, then it's obviously a daytime. All right, so here is the total hours, and most importantly, I also added 92 as you see here, the flight hours as well. So the VATSIM hours, so you can actually see how many flights you've actually done on VATSIM. So, and what's also here, as you can see here, emergencies. So if you did an emergency, which actually you can actually type in 7700. If you type in 7700, you actually would win that award. If you actually successfully land the plane and press full the parking brakes on. All right, so let me go to the user who has that many as a test, obviously. So let me look for it. Somebody did 270 odd flights, which you will see just now. That's 2 flights. That's 4 flights. That's 3 flights. That's 2. That's 0. That's 2. That's 2. 61. 290 with 280 completed. All right, so done 7,896 flight hours with VATSIM hours, 390 VATSIM hours, and he has 8 emergencies handled. So he'll have done 8 emergencies where he dialed 7700. 7700 means that you're actually in an emergency. It's going to automatically click on saying that it's an emergency, and then once you land, press fucking brakes. It's going to register it as a completed flight. And the thing about it, when you do the emergency, it's not going to actually take any sort of like penalties and stuff, because you're actually in an emergency. So none of the points and anything will be thing, but obviously the VATSIM hour will still be logged, and you will win more of the awards. Now we're going to go to the awards later. Obviously the subscription page, when you come here, you would see your subscription. You'd see the different ones as available. You can change whichever one if you want to change to a different one. You can see all the information about it, and obviously at the end of your period, you will get an invoice. Basically, if you go way above the track, the usage, which is a usage thing, so you just obviously either pay it manually or it will automatically do it when at the end of the billing period. So yeah, so as you see, the billing period here is till the 6th and the 15th. So tomorrow is the last day for this billing period where this would have to be paid. because it's a month. So it will be paid fully. So it's either you pay, or if it doesn't pay, then it's gonna go down in. And obviously, I wouldn't be able to finish pay until it actually the billing period is ended. So when the billing period ended, this invoice will be able to be accessed to be able to be paid. So you just don't want it to end up being that. So obviously, every month try to make sure that you don't go above. Or if you have a 6-month period, which I said in the awards section, some awards actually is a 6-month award. So you will have to after the end of 6 months, that's when the invoice would end. Depends on the one that you have. So yeah, in terms of that, let's go along. You have dark mode, light mode if you want to put that. And bear in mind, I designed this entire thing right from the scratch. I designed this entire thing myself, so actually adding all of that. If you want to change this from US to Euro currency, I believe they're supposed to, but I know that for sure the language one. So Espanol. So you see everything here change to, or Progress de Premier. So you can change your actual language if you figure you want to speak more in your whichever language, Portuguese, that kind of thing. So you keep it here. Back to English if you want to keep it on English. So that's what I have there. So one of the most important things as well, which I find, obviously you have the policies and all this kind of thing. That's very important. So you guys can see all the terms and conditions and all that kind of stuff. Policy, cancellations, frequently asked questions and all that kind of stuff. All right. So yeah, so let's go back. There's also a donate. If you want to donate, you can actually donate on PayPal or Streamlabs, whichever one. So we'll go on Streamlabs. Hopefully it shows up on screen. So if you come here, then if you want to donate like $1, you could donate $1, put your name. Somebody already donated once already, so that's pretty nice. He donated about $25, I believe. So that was pretty nice. So if you want to donate, guys, please feel free to donate. Put a tip here. That would be pretty nice. Send it and press donate. Or tip CaribFly. Yeah, that would be pretty nice. CaribFly will pretty much enjoy that. Really, pretty much. As you see, I buy planes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just trying my best to get more planes for the channel, for the stream and all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's go on to this section is called manage subscription, which I'm not going to click. It's going to go into your portal, your own individual portal. I don't want to go into actual portal to show stuff. So once you actually have a subscription, once you get a subscription access and everything, you're gonna click manage subscription, and then you go into your portal and you see some things. If you want to cancel your subscription, you can go into your portal and then cancel your subscription. All right. But like I said, this is basically once you reach a certain threshold, 1,000, 1 million in revenue, 2 million or 4 million, you're gonna get the 20 US in terms of the price. So the pricing. So you have to fly with the simulate, fly with it, but you need to have the subscription, and you'll be able to get these awards once you reach those certain threshold. All right. And like I said, in the analytics, you're gonna see so many things here, like nighttime flights, long haul flights, literally everything here. Which are the medium aircrafts? So you see you've done 8 flights. Heavy aircrafts. Also, there's these things as well. So let me go down to back to the third one, 290. So down here you could see all the awards I've achieved. So you see skill, loyalty, first revenue, balance. All of these awards have been, there's an award saying from St. Lucia to Gatwick, which I actually designed as well, and there's VATSIM as well to do junior VATSIM pilot or senior VATSIM pilot as well. All right, so junior VATSIM pilot here. All right. There's also a big apple. I know people like to fly to New York. You have to get a certain amount of points. So all of these things I'm actually going to put in another video. So officially, and here it goes. The emergency. You have to handle an emergency situation 2 times. Once you handle it 2 times, put in the squawk code 7700. I believe this one I have to change that. And then you'll get that. This one is for hijacking, I believe, or something like that. Obviously there's no hijacking. But yeah, if you do 20 flights during the night, then you get that. You get an award. So yeah, you don't want to, you don't want to be hijacking any plane. We're not going to do that. So none of that. But I have Butter King. So for all of those who think that they're very experienced and can land, live below 50 FPS, 50 FPM, feet per minute, 3 times. All right. If you think you can do that, if you think you can land that 3 times, then obviously you're gonna achieve that. Obviously 20 flights with the super A380s. Now that's a fictional because the A380s doesn't come to the Caribbean, but I decided to put it a route like for Barbados to Heathrow. I know the Concorde used to do that. I also put it just as a fictional because Barbados Airport has a 14,000 feet runway, which is very long. So I was like, why not just put an A380 flight if you for somebody to fly an A380? Like, come and fly in the Caribbean for an A380. Like, take a chance. Like, something to have some fun. Yeah, and obviously to record the hours that you fly and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a touchdown master. If you land minus 150 feet per minute for 10 consecutive flights. If you do that for 10 consecutive flights, 10 consecutive times, you are going to get this touchdown master award. I highly doubt people are going to get this award, but you have to do it 10 consecutive times. Yeah, loyalty just, after a certain 6 months, then you're going to get that if you're still in the VA. So some other normal, like I say, when you reach 1 million in total balance, you're gonna get that award. Yeah, long haul specialist. So a long haul is obviously an aircraft that is a long haul. So 777, A340, these are long haul category aircraft. So once you do 5 flights, basically over 8 hours. So if you complete 5 flights of those long haul aircrafts, because like I said, the aircrafts are actually weighted, because I actually coded it to be long haul aircraft. So even if you take a plane and you decide to put more fuel in the plane and go, it is not going to record it because you go over 8 hours. It's only going to record the planes that are coded long haul, like a 777, the 777-200, A340, A330, that kind of things. These are going to be the long haul, and you're going to get that once it's over 8 hours duration. Obviously, like I say, you see there are flights from the entire Caribbean going all across to England, with some going into different parts like LAMD, going into like Punta Cana and stuff like that. Even Zurich goes to Punta Cana. So you have different flights going into the Caribbean and I know Barbados used to go to Frankfurt, direct to Frankfurt, seasonally and stuff like that. So, and obviously historical flights as well, like I said, different historical flights. So, you could fly when you go and actually click, not here, but I'm not going to show you where it is yet when I'm ready. Then you're going to be able to see those flights. So basically, you're not going to see the flights here. These are like certain things. So like if you open this open map, you're just going to see those planes that are there. So these are the recent activities and the flight performances. So in June already, you see 11 flights in June. And so far on time is only about 73% on time. So flights are not taking off on time so far. Last month, only 82. In April, 73. So these are all people testing. A lot of people, my friends and them testing and stuff. And yeah. So quite a lot, like I say, guys. And the most important thing as well is when you get the award or whenever you win the award, this is actually automatically going to show up on your screen. So you guys ready to see this? Fireworks? Any one of you guys ready to see this fireworks? All right, here we go. So when you earn the award, this is automatically going to come up on the screen here. When you win the awards, right? So that's pretty nice. I think that's pretty nice. You'll see like award earned. So it's so nice to actually get to see that coming up on your screens. So that's pretty nice. So let's do it again one more time. In my opinion, that's pretty nice. That's really nice. I think that's super cool. Yeah, man. Somebody else voted. 5 votes says, yeah, rather Payware. So 60% on the Payware study levels compared to 40%. All right. So that is all of that. Obviously, I'm going to tweak this some more. If you want to click on any other channels there, like TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, Discord, my YouTube channel, all these things are going to be there. And like I said, I don't want it to go into in depth with certain things, but you're going to see it. Like I said, subscription. You go inside there, you can actually see what the things are as well, and you can change your plan and stuff. And it's going to pop out the screens and all that kind of thing, so whatever. But it's really nice. Oh, yeah, in the subscription, you're actually gonna see what your plan is if you have a basic plan. So you can see here your basic plan. And like I said, 29 awards. You could actually see your awards progress, but I don't think it's gonna be able to show it now because I'm actually on a testing of that version. So you're not gonna be able to see that in action right now. Yeah. I mean I could probably try to but it's going to say some issue thing. So I'm not gonna go on to that. Anyways, I'm gonna come back to the actual guest and host screen. All right, so I'm here with my friend again. Um, yeah, Kris. So that was quite a lot covered there, and like I said, I have that coming up, and I just haven't. I still want to put some little features, so at least it'll become super exciting. So it's an award, so I'm not competing on the airline, but more like an awards thing. So to be like giving people a reason to fly, like something to be entertained or why to fly. You will win some money, win a gift card. If you want cash, like I say, oh, did I show that part? I don't think I showed that part, but basically, yeah, if you wanted cash, you just click on what you want to do. If you want to win cash instead, you just click the PayPal, and that when you click the receive 20 US directly to your PayPal account. All right, so let me go back on the screen here again. All right, back to the actual, where is it? Screen, graphic screen here. All right. Like I say, all right, so click here. Receive 20 to your PayPal account. So like I said, initially, just put your PayPal email. Once you put your PayPal email, blah blah, whatever it is, you click claim my reward. It's gonna, like I say here, it takes 3 to 5 business days, basically like the time to process. So that all that information when we get it, then that email we're gonna send all of the information in terms of sending the $20 directly to your PayPal card, your PayPal link or whatever. All right, because some people rather the secure way going through PayPal. So send that $20 to you. That's $20 to you. In and that's 20 US, by the way. That's not 20 EC. Not 20 EC dollars, it's 20 US dollars. So you get 20 US dollars sent to you to either via PayPal, like I say here, or a gift card if you want a gift card instead. A $20 gift card sent to your actual account. So now you know you have 20 US. All you need is another 30 US and you buy a plane. Or if you already win 20 other US, 40 US, now you win another 20 US, now you have 50 US, you can go and buy a plane. All right. So you have a reason to fly, something, you know, and obviously the money you get back from the usages and stuff or whatever I get from that, obviously that's what's going to be paying all of that. Like I said, so really and truly, it's not really for me, but it's really to make people have a reason to fly. You feel like you win something, obviously you might end up paying some charges if you end up in charges, and then you know those charges ends up going to somebody. So basically it's like win your own giveaway. So instead of doing a giveaway and somebody has to win, you can win your own giveaway. If you fly and you do whatever, you win your own giveaway. After you reach a certain threshold, you win your own giveaway. Your giveaway is 20 US, whether you want in cash. 20 US for some people, that's like 50 EC dollars or 60 EC dollars. That's quite a lot of money for some people. Like they could literally do things with that. Or like I say, or gift card, and then they could buy a plane or whatever the case may be. So, but sometimes people tell me in the past like they never win any of my giveaways, and then they'll be the ones that flies all the time or something, and I'm like, I feel a bit bad. So now you can actually win. Once you fly a certain time, you actually can win your own giveaway, basically. So that's why I think makes a lot of sense. In my honest opinion. Right. So now that I actually in the background I actually unlocked, right? So I unlocked the actual awards progress. So now here you could actually see awards. So remember I told you this guy, he's won all the most of the awards here already. So it says claimed, right? All these are claimed. He's already claimed this one, claimed all of that. He started, as it says here, complete 50 flights to the Airbus A320 with a rating of 7.0 above. I should actually change this to I should put this to about like 8.0. Like, I feel like 7, I don't think people are going to get 7. But then again, I think I remember putting 7 because I want you to do 50 flights. Can you imagine doing 50 flights in the A320 Neo? It could be anyone. It could be Tolis. It could be the FS Labs. It could be anything. As long as it's an A320 Neo, it reads the actual your aircraft IQ type as a A320 Neo. Once you fly that flight, you complete that flight, it's gonna read it as a flight. So that would be 1 done. So that would be 6. We'll move on to 7. All right. So it doesn't matter what, as long as the aircraft is A320 Neo. Yeah. So as you see here, 500 VATSIM hours. With an average rating of 7.0 knot. So obviously your flights have to be above 7 to get that hours actually tracked. If your hours is, so they have 2 constraints. You have to, the hours and the rating. So if the rating is not there, then you don't get the hours. Yeah, so that have to be part of it. So I got 100 hours already. So he got that award, junior award, 100 hours, flight hours. Can you imagine 100 flight hours? And then now 5 going up for 500, and then the next one 1,000. So senior VATSIM pilot award. So now you actually get the actual VATSIM award, which is pretty nice, pretty cool. All right. So that's cool. So you have 4 of them in progress. 4 of them already started. Claimed 11 of them already. So I think that's about everything on that. So yeah, so you have actual something to actually a reason to fly. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about that some other time. But yeah, guys, so thank you. Let me go back to the original screen here again. All right, so I think Kris looks like he's probably wants to fall asleep here. He's probably fallen asleep already. Oh man, so it's I think today we had a good time, and I think I'm gonna end it there. So yeah, I think that's about it. So thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate it. Oh, what's that? Appreciate it. So thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kris. Thank you for being here. And like I said, guys, Kris, follow his YouTube channel, his Twitch channel as well. He's a very enthusiastic aviation person. He loves aviation. He loves flying in Australia as well too. Don't forget, I didn't forget to say that. And they have CTAF now in Australia as well, so like more reasons to fly down in Australia as well. So yeah, shit. It's shit. Well, now we're gonna find a lot of people flying the small planes again. People are gonna go back to CTAF and just making noise, talking on the freaking frequency. Coming in hot. Like, who cares if you're coming in hot? Just come in. Yeah, it's coming in red hot. Okay, so yeah, guys. So every week we on this podcast. Also on his podcast every week. So you've done an episode last week, first one, and we do a second one. Thank you for the 60 of you guys for being here. At least the 60 of y'all for coming on here right now. And I don't know why it ever after I do a live stream, people come back because probably the time that they didn't have the time to see the live stream. So end up becoming like 120 viewers, like another 60 odd people come and view it after the live streams ends. So I don't know, like, you guys don't like to hear my voice in the moment. You guys like to hear my voice after the fact. So Yeah, so hopefully I didn't talk enough shit. Let me end the pool here. So it seems like obviously people want to fly with more payware than freeware. So Chris, anything that you want to say? That's all you have to say? F? Is that all you have to say? Don't fly in Australia. All right, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, guys. Well, this is the end of that, guys. My fiance, she's already calling me. She's already fuming. So, guys, I will see you guys. Like I say, I'm making time for her, making time for my live streams, making time for work. I have about three different things that is heavy. So I'm not gonna be flying. I'm not gonna be flying all the time. So now everything's on a schedule. I have a better way to do things now. So that's pretty fine. So guys, once again, um, see you all again on the next one. Thank you for being here, and good night wherever you are in the world. Bye bye.